Hey there, this lesson is 1.4b multi-step equations with distributive property day 2. So the only difference really between this problem and the problems from the video 1.4a is that when you originally start, you can see that here instead of just a number, it has a number and a variable on one side of the equal sign, and then you use the distributive property. So we're going to use everything that we learned yesterday, plus, or excuse me, in the previous lesson, plus one extra step. So here we go. The first thing you do, step number 1, is distribute. Okay, so when you distribute, it means to multiply. So 2 times p is 2p. 2 times positive 5 is positive 10. You don't do anything to this other side. There's nothing to distribute on the right-hand side of the equal sign, so you just drop it down. 25 plus 7p. Okay? Now, the next thing that you want to do is you can look and see on the left and right hand side, there's any way to make it shorter. There's not. And so what we're going to do, step 2, is we're going to move. We move with plus and minus. So I've described this before. I think about the equal sign like a line of scrimmage for football. And I like to label mine. So 2 has a jersey P. 10 is just a plain number with no letter. 25 is just a plain number. 7 has a P. Okay. So just like in football, when you start at the line of scrimmage, all of one type of player has to be over there with its teammates. So we need the P to move with the P. And I just like to pick on the little guy. So I'm moving 2 with 7. So minus 2P and minus 2P. Those cancel off. And 7 minus 2 is 5P. Okay. Now I have numbers still on the right-hand side. They need to move over with their players on the left-hand side. So this is positive 25. So you do the opposite, minus 25, minus 25. 25 minus 25 goes to 0. And 10 minus 25 is negative 15. Okay. So negative 15 is equal to 5p. Now, the very last part is going to be divide. So we will step 3, divide. So when you divide, you want to divide by the number with the variable. And so I'm going to put this so that you will remember, divide by the number with the variable. The variable means letter. So we will divide by 5 and divide by 5. That's because 5 divided by 5 is 1p, and you need to know the value of 1p. So 15 divided by 5, that's 3, and because 15 is negative, 3 will be negative. Okay? All righty. I'm going to look through this lesson real quick and see if there's anything extra. Whoops. Let's see. All right. This example on 10 is practically the same. The only thing that I noticed, and sometimes they'll say, what value makes the equation true? Okay. So what I notice here is that instead of just distributing a regular number, this number up front is negative. And again, I'm going to write 1 distribute. Okay. And the reason why I do this is a good study habit, is to write the steps. So distribute -2 times 1, and it means to multiply. -2 times 1 is -2. Be very careful here with your signs. -2 times -8 is positive 16. This has a V, so 16 gets a V. There's nothing to distribute on the right-hand side, so you just drop the equation down. And step two is to move with plus or minus. So the reason again why I write it down is it's a good study habit. I make my line of scrimmage. 2 is just a number, so I label it just a number. 16 has a V, so I label it V. -2 is just a number, so I label it with a number. And 5 has a V, so I label it with a V. And again, it helps me to think about it. I think about these labels, the numbers and the V's, as football jerseys. I want to get all of my football team on one side together, and I usually look for the lowest number to put it with the biggest number. Opposite side, opposite sign. So -5. And that's minus because this is plus, the opposite of that is minus. 5 minus 5 cancels out. So -5V, 16 minus 5 is 11V. And now we got all the V's on one side. You have to get all of the numbers on the other side. Well, opposite of minus is plus 2. So those cancel out, and plus 2. Oh, when it cancels out, what really happens is 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. Two ways to think about this. You can say 11 times 0 is equal to 0. So that's true. Or you could just continue to divide by 11 and divide by 11 because the last step is to divide. But you'll still see 0 divided by 11 is equal to 0. So either way, that V is equal to 0, or there you go. Okay. All right. Continue to work hard and have a safe and blessed day.